Hello, fourth year campers of the Colorado Fort Collins Stake. I'm Danae Cameron and this is my husband Brendan Cameron.
Hi.
And we're going to be helping you on your fourth year hike. We are really excited and we want to use this time to give you a little tutorial over the gear you'll need to bring with you.
So we're going to go over each piece of the gear. We're going to show you good and bad examples. If you bring the good examples, even if you don't have to buy these things, just borrow them, find them at a thrift store or whatever, it's going to mean the difference between you having a good time or a terrible time. So that's why we're going over this video. So Danae's going to explain all of it to you. I'll be the model, obviously.
Alright, let's get started first with the backpacks. So if you'll notice on your list it says, bring a backpack with a sturdy hip belt and frame. Internal or external frame is fine. It just needs to fit. So here we have an example of an external frame, orange, and the blue internal frame. So both packs will work, but the key point here is the hip belt. And if you look at the hip belt on each of those, they're very different. One has a lot of extra padding and is adjustable. The other one is rusted and old and there's no padding, and you would be very uncomfortable using that. So bad example, good example. If you have an external frame pack, just make sure the hip belt will be comfortable and will fit you. Some of you little teeny tiny girls need to make sure that the hip belt actually will adjust to the size of your hips.
So make sure if you're borrowing it from friends that you try it on. Make sure that everything fits okay, that it snaps in, and the weight sits right on top of your hips.
Alright.
Covered.
After you find your pack, you're going to want to have a rain cover to cover your pack, or you're going to want to pack everything inside a giant trash bag inside your pack to keep it dry. So, rain cover or a few extra plastic bags to pack your stuff inside your pack so things will stay dry.
The plastic bags are not to cover you or the outside. You can't use these as a poncho, because what happened last year is people tried to use plastic bags to put it on, and they all just ripped, and then everyone got wet and it was miserable. So I just ruined your bag.
Next on your list is a sleeping pad. What you'll want to bring, we have two examples of sleeping pads. One is an old-fashioned model and the other one is what you can buy today. Both will work. What you'll be using a sleeping pad for is to help insulate you from the ground. So it'll help keep you dry and warm. So no matter which one you decide to bring, just make sure you bring one. This really big bulky one will actually roll up into the smaller size where you can see, Brendan, you want to hold up the smaller size? It'll roll up to about that size. So whatever you have, you just want to make sure you have something to sleep on. So next we're going to move to sleeping bag. So sleeping bags are really important. You want to make sure that you're not bringing your old Barbie sleeping bag from sleepovers when you're 10 years old. You want to have something that's nylon and warm. It could be insulated with down or synthetics, but you want to make sure it's rated to at least 20 degrees or colder. You can find that rating usually stitched into the sleeping bag near the top, or sometimes it's on the tag inside. So you'll want to be putting this sleeping bag into a compression sack if you have one, or at least a stuff sack.
Otherwise, we had last year where girls showed up with it in a giant pack and it took up their whole pack, so we couldn't put anything. So try to find something small that you can stuff it into. They sell these for relatively inexpensive, anywhere between $10 and $20, or you may be able to find some at a thrift store.
Alright, so once your sleeping bag is in the compression sack, it's easily half the size, if not a quarter of the size, and it'll take up less room in your pack, or if it's hanging on your pack, it'll be a lot less cumbersome as you walk. So now we're going to go through some of the other things. We don't have everything out here, but you're going to want to bring a camp towel or a washcloth. And we have here like a little ShamWow and a camp towel. So you don't need anything big, but we are going to be around water, so there's opportunities for you to wash up and clean up, and we want to make sure you have what you need. Next, we're going to go over to our hydration systems. So water is really crucial to bring. We're asking you guys to bring 1.5 to 2 liters of water, so any combination will work. Sometimes the hydration pouches are really nice, but it is nice to have a water bottle you can fill. We'll be purifying all of our waters out of the stream, so make sure you're carrying at least 2 water bottles. If you want to bring a Gatorade bottle or some other sports drink, that will count. You just need to make sure the bottle is sturdy plastic so it can be reused. Alright, so next we're going to move over to small first aid kit. So we have, you're going to want to pack things like Band-Aids and tape, Advil, Moleskin, blister treatment. So you can either buy one already made or you can easily make one yourself. You're just going to need to find what, and if there's specific things you need, if you have special medications you need to bring those. Alright, so also here we have an example of sunscreen, lip balm, and insect repellent. We've been lucky in the past, but insect repellent can be critical. There is a lot of water, which means there can be a lot of mosquitoes, and it can be pretty uncomfortable if you do not have these items. So we're gonna move over to headlamp or flashlight. There's a headlamp right there. Really, once you have a headlamp, you would never want a flashlight, but they are really nice to have. You either need to have fresh batteries in them or bring an extra pair in your pack. Alright, one thing we don't have out here right now is a whistle, but you will need to bring a whistle just in case something happens. You'll easily be able to be heard. So because we're really not going to be doing a lot of cooking, we're asking you guys to bring minimal mess kits. So we have an example of all you really need to carry, which is a cup and a spoon. That's actually a spoon and a fork. But you can just use something that's, if you're going to bring plastic, make sure it's very sturdy plastic, but there's no need to bring pots and pans and stoves because we'll provide all that for you. So some of the other things on there are pocket knife, personal trash bags, garbage bags, and sorry, I'm just going down the list here. Your feminine hygiene products you'll need, and you need to remember those will need to be packed out, so you cannot bury them or throw them away anywhere out there, so you need to be prepared for that. Watch is optional, small notebook, pen optional, camera. We have a camera out there, optional. You want to just bring something that's small and convenient, that's not too bulky. There's no need to be taking professional photos out there. And plus, really expensive cameras can be damaged, so make sure you're being smart about that. Next, we're going to move on to our bear bags. So bear bags can just be a stuff sack. We have two different sizes. It really doesn't matter. One is really big and the other is small. You just need to be able to fit all of your food in there. And what we'll do is we'll hang those high up in a tree every night to keep you safe from bears.
The food's safe.
Next, we want to talk about your clothing. Clothing is really, really important. We will start with long pants. So
Let's
we
show
have,
what not to wear.
Okay, skinny jeans. Those would be really skinny on you. So denim can be a problem. It's cotton and it doesn't dry very quickly, and so as you're walking, the base of them can get wet and then it'll stay wet. So we recommend that you bring a more lightweight fabric that can be nylon, polyester. It can be a blend, but something that'll be quick drying. And really, you want to wear pants to protect your legs from all the different things we'll be hiking through.
No jeans. No jeans.
You can also, you don't need to spend a lot of money on these things. You can go to places like REI and spend a small fortune, but you can also get things at the thrift store for very inexpensive.
$3.
So those pants cost $3 and they're perfect for what you would want. So this, you're not going to be seen by anyone. It's not a fashion show. You need to have the right clothing. So same with our shirts. We want to be making sure we're dressing in layers. So you want to have lightweight material that you can layer. So those are just some lightweight things that are not cotton and quick drying. And we don't have a coat out here, but we have a vest. Vests are nice because they can kind of keep your center warmer. So if you have a vest you want to bring, just remember anything you bring out there could get burned by the fire or ripped or dirty, so just make sure that you're not bringing your nicest stuff out there. Alright, next we want to talk about layering. So layering is really important, especially at high altitude. So we'll be anywhere from 9,000 feet up to 12,000 feet, so weather will change drastically. So this is an example of probably what I would wear in one day, and you don't need to bring this to wear every day we're going to be there, but I'd probably wear a t-shirt. This is a cotton blend, so it actually will dry a lot quicker. So I'd wear a t-shirt for when it's hot and when I'm hiking, and maybe when I stop and it cools down, I have a longer layer, a shirt that's long sleeve that'll protect me, but it's not too warm. And after that, I would go to a sweatshirt, maybe, and then after that, if I'm still feeling cold, I have a vest and a warm fleece jacket. So all of these layers can be easily added or taken off depending on your comfort level. One thing you need to remember is it could be 80 degrees and sunny, and then later that night it could be snowing and freezing rain. So we want to make sure you guys are warm and comfortable, and dressing in layers is the best way to do that so you're not overheated. So if you just bring one really heavy sweatshirt, you might be too hot or too cold. So dressing in layers is the best way to stay comfortable. Next, we want to talk about rain gear. We have had rain every year so far, and it can get very cold. So we want to make sure you're bringing the appropriate rain jacket. Now, Brendan is modeling a very nice rain jacket. It's very expensive. You don't need anything that nice, but you want to make sure whatever you have will cover you. So if you want to bring a poncho, you want to bring something that will cover your legs. So something that's made out of heavy-duty fabric, nothing that's like cheap plastic that will tear and rip easily. You want to make sure.
So no garbage bags.
Yeah, so no garbage bags. There are no $1 rain ponchos you would take to a baseball game. You want to make sure you have decent rain gear. So rain pants, rain jacket, or a poncho. Next, we're going to be talking about footwear. So footwear is something that, for whatever reason, we can't really get the young women to understand appropriate footwear. So what we are asking you guys to bring is a sturdy pair of shoes that has a very sturdy sole. So they can be boots, hiking boots, or they can be more like a hiking shoe. Those have very sturdy soles, and they're actually waterproof, which makes it a lot more comfortable when you're walking in the rain. Some of the other shoes that we have that we don't want you to bring, just really flimsy tennis shoes or anything canvas. If you're wearing running shoes, they need to be able to be laced up really tight so that your ankles will be protected. These shoes are fashionable, but they are not going to, they provide no support for your feet. So after you're done hiking, you may want to bring some shoes like some Chacos or some Crocs where you could cross water, or you can walk around camp comfortably. So they need to be something lightweight that can fit in your backpack.
I want to talk about socks real quick.
Yeah, so socks are also important. The reason we ask you to bring wool socks is because wool will stay warm even when it's wet. If you bring cotton, cotton doesn't dry very easily, and once it's wet, it stays wet, and you're not going to have an opportunity to dry it. And even when wool gets wet, it still is warm. So that's why we're asking you to bring wool socks. You can also bring a thin liner nylon sock that will help with blisters if you're worried about blisters. We also just want to remind you, your sunglasses and hats are also important to protect you from the sun, so you have lots of options. Lots of options. Thank you, Brendan. I hope this small demo will help you get started with your packing list. We just want to remind you that we will be doing a pack check and a practice hike in June before, so we expect you to come with your packs fully loaded. We'll help you adjust them and pack them. And we just want to let you know that being prepared is key to having a good time. If you have what you need, you're going to have a great time. You're going to be warm, you're going to be dry, you're going to sleep good, you're going to have plenty to eat and drink, and you're going to have so much fun. And so we hope that you'll take this opportunity to talk with your leaders and give us a call or email and let us know what questions you have.
We heard from the girls last year it was either the funnest trip they've ever had or the worst trip they've ever had, and it came down to gear. So we're expecting you to bring the things that we've shown, and if you can't or you're not able to get it, please contact your leaders or Danae or myself so we can help you get it before the trip so that you can have a fun time.
Thank
and
you.
a cat. Goodbye.